If there's one thing the bold and the beautiful has never been short on, it's complicated love stories. Couples are constantly tested, sometimes reaching the point of no return and other times thriving under pressure. Some relationships survive that kind of tension and even grow stronger because of it. However, others exist long after their expiration date and need to be put out of their misery. That's where this list comes in. Looking at the current romantic landscape on B&B, there are couples who feel overdue for a breakup that could open the door to real growth, a fresh story, or at the very least, a reset. At the same time, there are pairings that still work, even with their flaws, and would be a mistake to tamper with just for the sake of shock value. Whether it's a romance that has clearly run its course or one that deserves protection, these are 5 couples that should break up and 5 that are worth keeping together. The way Brooke and Ridge are terrorizing everyone at Forever Creations is giving flawbacks to the evil reign of Rick and Maya. Nobody appears to have a say in anything at the V Company, and despite Steffi being co-CEO, Brooke somehow has more noticeable power. Despite considering each other to be their destiny, Ridge has a tendency to waffle back to Taylor, but that isn't the shakeup they need. Ridge and Brooke need fresh romantic prospect who can bring out the best in them and not enable their words' personality traits. Hope and Liam just got married, so this inclusion might come as a bit of a surprise. However, with Thomas returning to Los Angeles, the fledgling marriage might be on life support before it ever gets off the ground. Hope's connection to the Forrester heir is still bubbling under the surface. It's an undeniable, albeit uncomfortable truth. Hope and Thomas have far more chemistry than she and Liam, and it wouldn't be too difficult to rock the foundation. Their entire reunion has been based on the idea of reuniting for Bate and their little family. Love or even lust hasn't been at the forefront of their reconciliation, so not only is the pairing boring, but a more thrilling option is already waiting for Hope. Deacon and Sheila's marriage died the moment she withheld the truth about Luna from her husband. She knew Luna was alive, and she kept that fact from Deacon, knowing the pain she caused him when she murdered 2 of his closest friends. Deacon may have gained clarity from his therapy sessions with Taylor, but Sheila's behavior is already backsliding into dangerous territory. This relationship has a shelf life, and it's clear that there's more palpable chemistry between him and Taylor. The lies took their toll on Deacon, and despite Sheila's best efforts to prove herself as a changed woman, it's not landing with his children. Everything is working against them, and since another option, Taylor, exists on the canvas, it might be best to shift toward that and allow Sheila to return to the dark side. They're boring. Watching these two together is like watching the wettest, thickest paint dry on the largest canvas. They were already a snooze fest before the Luna ordeal, but once Luna became pregnant with Will's child, the true cracks in this relationship began to form. Electra, being the perpetual victim, makes Will's sexual assault about her and how their special night together was ruined. In that moment, the relationship lost any and all appeal it might have had. In the aftermath of Luna's death, they've appeared more united than ever, but what is left for them? Will is most likely defecting from Forrester Creations to Spencer Publications or his mother's new fashion house, and if he does, that will be the end of the couple. Introduce someone new for each of them and let Electra sink or swim. The character either becomes more dynamic or leaves. The same goes for Will, although he has slightly more staying power. The pairing between Carter and Daphne is moving at a snail's pace, and she's making it impossible for the romance to move forward. She wants Carter to earn a place in her life, but it's unclear what else he needs to do. He isn't trying to woo anyone else, and so far it looks like she's the only woman in his life. Carter is fully invested in a future with Daphne, and she's more focused on performing at Deacon's Olive Garden knockoff. She is the biggest roadblock preventing any forward momentum for this coupling. Daphne recently spoke out against Ridge's treatment of Eric, where he essentially forced him into retirement. Carter is not only Forrester's COO but also Ridge's best friend. Too many instances of this will spell doom for a couple that isn't even an established item. It's an example of how they're already showing major incompatibility. Let's pull the plug, get Daphne a record deal, and find someone else for Carter to slip an engagement ring on. As obnoxious as this pairing can tend to be, and as big a case for them to split as there is, B&B wouldn't be the same without Brooke and Ridge. They are destiny personified. Regardless of the obstacles placed in their path, most of which they bring on themselves, they always find a way back to each other. It's a love story for the ages. It's messy, real, and pure soapy goodness. Brooke and Ridge could absolutely tone down the power trip they're exhibiting at Forrester Creations, but that doesn't mean the marriage needs to crumble. If Katie and Bill are going to become a new face in fashion, they need a formidable power couple to take them on. Nobody fits the mantle better than Brooke and Ridge and their legendary romance. Unlike Hope and Liam, this is a newly reunited couple that has the ability to last much longer because they have far fewer hurdles to jump over. They don't have someone like Thomas reinserting himself into the dynamic and complicating things. The number one issue of this relationship has always been Bill and his behavior, but he has made genuine strides to become a better person. Katie symbolically placing the sword necklace back on him was a testament to embracing every side of the man she loves, and it's why they should remain together. Katie's been treated poorly lately by Forrester, and Bill is prepared to offer her the world. Buying Katie her own fashion house is just the start of what these two could potentially build together. They grew closer out of genuine concern for Will and what he went through at the hands of Luna, but they've placed an emphasis on the love between them. They aren't doing this for the sake of their child, they made an effort to embrace love, and that shouldn't change for anything. Nobody has been through more trauma over the last few years than Steffi and Finn. They deserve their quiet, passionate scenes at home that viewers have been treated to lately. In the span of a couple of years, they've faced kidnappings, shootings, lunatic daughters, and unhinged mothers, and somehow they've weathered the storm and remained together. They have earned peace. The attraction is still there between them, and they are arguably one of the most aesthetically pleasing couples on daytime TV. There's no reason to put another obstacle in their paths. Steffi's made a genuine effort to be more receptive to Finn's feelings about his twisted family members, and it's giving the marriage more staying power. They don't need a love triangle, they don't need a near-death experience, and they don't need another struggle, at least not yet. Keep them stable and allow them some room to breathe and settle into their life together. Nobody stands by their man better than Donna. She was willing to risk it all to stand up for Eric when Ridge tried to force him into a surprise retirement. Donna asks the important questions and refuses to let anyone, including his son, disrespect Eric. Donna and Eric found their way back to each other after years apart and time wasted with other people. He is entering a new phase of his life, and there's nobody better suited to remain by his side than Donna. Eric opens up to Donna in a way that he doesn't without anyone else. Their special connection cannot be denied, and there's no reason this show should mess with what's working so well for the two characters. Donna should be Eric's final love story, and when everything is said and done, she's the only person who should be by his side when he fades into the sunset. For some reason, the show hasn't followed up on Deke and Ramai's rift since Deke learned about his boyfriend's despicable actions. Elektra, Will, and everyone else at Forrester blasted Ramai for his prior stalking and for the deepfake photos of Elektra. Deke was entirely blindsided and he asked for some space from Ramai. However, there has been no continuation of the storyline and it's as if it never existed. This is a mistake that B&B needs to rectify immediately. They require each other to grow as characters, and without the pairing, they could slip to the back burner. Deke and Ramai are the only gay couple on The Bold and the Beautiful, and it's a major misstep to break them apart so soon after introducing them. Deke and Ramai should be a groundbreaking couple who go the distance. There needs to be an example of a successful pairing for the trend of inclusion to continue. They have chemistry and all the tools. The only thing standing in their way is the writing, and that's an easy fix.